Okay.
Yo, what up? What up? What up? What's popping? Had a little technical difficulties there, but we back in. Let's get popping to it. I'm the Beast,
I'm Blaq.
and we running it back. You would have thought we was in rewind for a second, but it is what it is.
Feels weird.
I know, right?
Well,
So what
we're
we talking
talking
about?
about emotional manipulation and manipulation in a relationship as a whole.
Hmm.
And you was telling me your point of view.
I want to talk about it in its entirety,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we've all done it in some shape or form in our life. The question is are you doing it knowingly or unknowingly? Um, because I feel like if you're doing it unknowingly,
Mm-hmm.
is it really manipulation?
Mm-hmm. It still is.
It still is
regardless
from the
where you
definition
got
of
it
it.
from.
Yes. But if you're doing it knowingly, that means you're doing it with every intent to
Have a gain.
there you go, have a gain out of the situation. I think relationally, I honestly believe that people do it knowingly more so than unknowingly.
I don't know. I can't determine if people do it knowingly or unknowingly because you know people are brought up a way, and with a like say let's say for example a man, the world tells the man to go live a certain life,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you don't have a reason to learn how to holler at a girl
Mm-hmm.
or to express yourself anyway. I'm supposed to be out here and you supposed to like me
Mm-hmm.
and want me. So I'm out here and you like me and you want me. But that's not teaching you how to approach somebody, how to, it's not teaching you people. People just throwing themselves at you. So it's not teaching you people. So when you get older and you want to date somebody, you may not know different ways of, hey, miss, how you doing? I want, however you grow up, holler at that girl. That's how you going to grow up. Hollering that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless. Until you see different, learn different, you can behave different. Or even somebody able to bring it to your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if he's just going out there and he's like, I like you, like a homegirl was talking about, like if he say, hey, I'm not interested in a girlfriend, and you not really interested in a boyfriend either, but y'all hanging out, and in his mind, both y'all not interested in a relationship, but he's starting to like you, so he's going to begin liking you. I'm trying to spend time with you. I want to have sex with you. I want to take you out and shit. But if she is not into a boyfriend either, but now you finna act like you can be a boyfriend because you want to have sex and be with her in those ways, but you don't really want to be a boyfriend. You just ready to have sex and
So versus
be with
her versus him telling her how he
the
really
truth,
feels,
right?
he manipulates the situation as if he
To
wants a
get
relationship.
to get all of these other benefits that will require the relationship. So now you tell her, okay, cool, I like you, I want to be with you, but in actuality, you really just want to see what the body was like. And now that you got that, and you get in that first argument, it's like, well, I'm gonna slide. Because you didn't really want me anyway. You didn't want the relationship. You didn't want to be nobody's boyfriend. You really just wanted to have sex. And you told me the relationship is a good idea.
Right.
But from the start, we were both like, yeah, I'm just out here trying to see what's, if I can find a friend and find somebody to kick it with. And he's like, okay, cool. I dig that. I'm in that same wave. But damn, I'm starting to like Shorty. Shorty got a fat ass. I'm like, what's up?
So you're saying people
So
sexually, sometimes they try to pave their way, manipulate.
It was maybe a sexual. He gained something physical, but he still emotionally attached himself to her to do it. You still emotionally manipulated that woman for you to get some ass.
Had her thinking something that wasn't never there.
Never there. What was true was when you came in and said, I ain't really looking for a girlfriend right now, but you started liking what you said.
Now it's safe to say that a lot of times when
and I don't want to make it a male and female thing.
It's a whatever thing. But I know now when people are talking now, especially for heterosexual male, when he says he's talking to a woman, he says, hey, I'm just looking for a friend, or I just, need a friend in my life, she's automatically turned off.
No, she may be in the same place.
I don't know.
They just don't know how to have a
Well,
a
she automatically
friendship,
thinks
a-
he wants sex.
He does want sex.
A lot of times, okay.
That's if he don't want that woman sexually, the relationship will work.
True. But I can't even defend my fellas on that.
You can't, because he gonna want some ass, regardless.
I know.
You can.
That's.
I done had homeboys that I don't like men. I'm not attracted to men, and ain't nothing you can do to make me like you, and you will still want some pussy.
We have a question.
Already?
Yep. Stephanie asked, is manipulating the situation the same as manipulating the person?
Yes.
Yes.
Because you're manipulating that person for that relationship, for the situation.
Yeah.
So regardless if you did, it's all a lie. It's all a lie, Stephanie.
Yeah. So manipulation is lying, and so relationally, emotionally, anyway, it's putting yourself in a position to win or to gain. And I think
lying, though. I will.
in some aspects, and what we're talking about right now, that's lying.
So what's the difference?
Yeah. So that's
is
lying.
Is that you or isn't it? Are you lying about your face or no?
That's fair.
If I can't see you, somebody
Exactly.
lying.
So you're telling me something that you're going to act as if it's true, but it's really in your heart of hearts is not true. You're telling me that I'm down with a relationship, but just 2 weeks ago, I told you that I just wanted a friend, but I'm okay with the relationship because in order for me to get what I want, you only want this if we're in a relationship, which is what a lot of women will say is, hey, I ain't getting down like that unless I'm with somebody seriously. So now all of a sudden this dude has said, ding, okay, I'm going to get with her.
I want to take her serious.
And I'm going to take her serious so I can get ultimately whatever it is that I wanted as just a friend.
That's fair. So the topic where the way y'all are talking about it right now, then yeah, there will be lying. But then you have cases where it's not a lie, but this is still manipulation. So like one of the categorized versions of emotional manipulation is hero complex, where men will tell a woman, oh, you got everything because of me. That might be true, but it's still manipulation. That's what I mean by it's not always a lie.
So we got to be careful on what we're calling manipulation and what we're calling an actual fact.
All right.
You just said it might be true.
But
in that scenario,
manipulation.
In that scenario,
but what is he manipulating on it? What is he trying to get out of it?
Just her. A woman is trying to
manipulate her to staying as if he made an exchange.
Okay.
I did all of this for you. I done put you through school. I done paid your rent. I done bought your car. I done took care of you. I done did all of this for you, and now you want to go. So now you gaslighting me into you manipulating me to stay with you.
I get it.
And why you would want to be with somebody that don't want to be with you?
Right.
That's weird.
Because it's an investment. We talked about that. Because now, if I did all of that for you, now I'm vested. And I ain't finna just let my investment walk out like that. That's what they're thinking. I'm just telling you what it is. It's an ugly situation. It's amazing to me, and this is so off topic. It's amazing to me how we get so offended about slavery, and we do it to each other every day.
People aren't property.
That's how they used to treat us back then.
That's why we ain't back then.
And that's what I'm saying is that it's amazing to me how we get offended about that, but we do it to each other on a daily basis.
No.
Yes.
I do. I understand.
But the difference is you have the choice to leave nowadays. A lot of people stay.
You have your choice.
But with manipulation, in a sense, when you know you're playing with a person's heartstrings, then that's a totally different ballgame because you know they're going to stay if they pull on.
You need to have emotional intelligence. You got to be
smart.
Get that. You got to know yourself.
I get that.
You got to be like, dang, this gaslighting me. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
But part of it might be true and part of it just might be bullshit. Go ahead.
I agree with DJ, but I also feel that more commonly we run into people that aren't emotionally intelligent enough on their self or for themselves where they can call other people on their bullshit. Like, I don't think that's something that people learn until they're going through it, get out of it successfully, pick up the pieces and look back and was like, oh,
I was being manipulated.
Or that was dumb. We normally don't even get to the point of saying we were being manipulated. We normally say, oh, we was stupid. I was stupid for so-and-so. I was dumb for so-and-so. I can't believe I took that, not even knowing or realizing to call it or categorize it as that person was manipulating me. I lacked emotional intelligence, and now I have to apply it to all future situations.
So now let me ask you this. How do we balance being emotionally manipulated from I really love this person and I wanted to do that for them because I love them that much. How do we balance
I
that?
think
How do we
naturally,
balance that?
I think naturally people somewhat manipulate without intention.
Yes.
And I feel like you have room for grace for that. Like you might really need this person to do something for you, or you might really need this person to be here for you. And you might twist your words so that they come. Like how women will be like, oh, it's an emergency. And it really ain't an emergency, but you felt like you really just needed that person.
Well,
and you knew if you told them the truth that they weren't gonna come.
I just don't want to find myself in a position. I'm just speaking overall. I don't want to find myself in a position of leaving somebody and saying, oh yeah, they manipulated me, when it was really, no, I just really loved them that much. So I did it because I wanted to. So I'm saying, where's the line in the saying?
I think
is what I'm saying.
If it ultimately become your decision. Like if something you have to do for someone else because you love them so much, and then it ultimately become your decision of something you want to do, then it's your choice.
True.
That becomes your decision to do for them, not something they coerced you to do or something they manipulated you to do. You got to an understanding of it and wanted to do it yourself.
Gotcha.
Right.
So if say it didn't work or didn't happen, you don't feel a way about that thing you had to done unless you did it just for that person.
Right.
That's when you feel a way.
And I think it's how the person words it. If I just straight up tell you, like, I don't like you hanging out with Keisha, I didn't manipulate you. I told you straight up. Now, if you choose to stop hanging out with Keisha, that's a choice. I told you I didn't like it. But if I told you, I feel like you don't love me no more because you with Keisha, I manipulated you at that point.
Because now your love is measured to you loving someone else. Now you can't love me. No, you don't love me at all. You just need me not to love other people.
Right. So it's like that's that. I feel like it depends on how that person words it. So you might leave the relationship and you might have sacrificed things, but that person asked you straight up, like, hey, I don't like you going to get gas that night. Can you not do that? Then you got that was stupid. I don't know why he ain't, but that was straight up. He asked you. But now it's like, oh, I feel like you sneaking and creeping every time you stop on your way home and you say you getting gas. That's manipulation.
But we got to be careful about how we use manipulation, because sometimes manipulation actually just is that person actually caring.
Yes.
Like it's a lot. It's a lot in this dynamic.
It depends on how you word it. That person could be
the words. Sometimes the words don't even mean. It's how. Yes, the intent.
What I'm saying, yeah.
It's the intent behind the word. It's what you're doing it for. If you're gonna take care of somebody, you're taking care of them because you want to. You're not taking care of them because they're there. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna want to take care, make sure they're good regardless, if that's what you want to do.
Right.
But if the relationship end, now you're like, but I took care of you, then you wasn't. Yeah. You were trying to buy my time. That wasn't you taking care of me. You didn't give a damn about me. You just needed me there.
Stephanie said the line comes in just how far or how much a person is willing to do.
The line come in just as far as
because he had asked where's that line between I really just cared or I was being manipulated.
I think sometimes people go back though. So like for an example, when we were in the relationship, it was good and everything was good. But then when we're done and it's over, now you want to look back on it and say, oh, I feel like that person was manipulating me.
That sometimes it's just a victim complex.
There you go. And that's what a lot of people will do.
Yeah.
Is that, oh, I just felt like he or she was manipulating me. No, because they didn't get anything out of it. They was doing it because they actually loved. So then you got to look at the synopsis of the whole thing that they're talking about. But people do it on a daily basis all the time. Is oh, I was just being manipulated. No, you weren't being manipulated. You just in your feelings now.
Yes. I feel like people like to throw the word manipulation around as soon as it doesn't go according to plan. So you looking back at a relationship.
Which is also manipulation. Go ahead.
Right. So you're looking back at a relationship and now you got questions like, well, did she ever love me? Did he ever care about me? Because it ended badly. Like we'll discredit everything good that happened in their relationship and then sum it up to them wanting something from you. So they manipulated you the whole time for it to end like this. And I think a lot of times it's just like what we said, it's just a victim complex that people have about themselves. Manipulation is not always a bad thing, people. And like y'all said, a lot of time people are unaware that they do it. Just like the gas station example. If someone's like, I don't like you get gas at night, because you get people that will abduct people, you got people that will rob you at night, you got people, and those things happen. But the manipulation is telling you the worst examples of what occurred. When honestly, another example could be, yeah, that's kind of smart because you won't have time to stop in the morning to go grab it. So maybe you should just go ahead and stop it.
So from a man to a woman, I only look at that, and I'm just using the gas complex because I'm a big advocate of, women shouldn't be getting gas at 11, 12 o'clock at night. But anyway, I'm only looking at the worst case scenario because that goes back to me being a protector. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So I'm putting you in a position to where, even if it means that I got to go get the gas, but I'm putting myself in a position as being the protector because I don't want you out at night. But then later on down the road, you cool with it then. But then later on down the road, when we ain't together no more, it's like, oh, he was just trying to tell me what to do. He was just trying to manipulate the situation.
And that's the problem, because what I would take that as is he cares enough to be concerned about my safety. So for that, I wouldn't call that manipulation, but that's also being emotionally intelligent. That's just because this aspect of our relationship did not work, and this particular aspect was enough for us to call it quits. You can't go apply it to every little thing.
Right.
Yeah, in the situation where I didn't like you going out with Keisha, so every time you go out with Keisha, I automatically get an attitude and fuck up your good time. So you just like, I might as well stay at home. And you realize that this person is trying to just keep you to themselves. That's kind of different. And that is the aspect of that particular relationship where you like, I got to call it quits because Keisha tried and true. That's my dog.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about
I got a quick question before you bring that up.
Go ahead.
Because y'all said earlier that, or y'all kind of alluded to earlier that people use the manipulation to get what they want, far as, in general. I guess this is still the same thing, but I noticed that it seems like a lot of people use manipulation to satisfy their own personal insecurities.
Which is getting what they want.
Yeah.
Which is still getting what they want. And that still ties into where I'm about to bring it up relationally. What we have to understand is that my life was my life before I got with you. Mm-hmm. Your life is your life before you got with me. The goal is not to get together and start changing each other's lives.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that's where a lot of people miss it. Now it's like, if I had a woman best friend, for an example, before I got with you, now you telling me, well, I just don't like y'all relationship. Sounds like a personal problem to me.
Right.
Because the reality of it is she was here before you got here. And that's the relationship and dynamics that we have. Then that's just the relationship and dynamics that we have.
Yeah.
You coming in and telling me what you don't like is only going to push you further, because now I'm going to ask you at this point, okay, so what, you want to slide? Because you have that opportunity to, if you need to. If this relationship over here makes you feel this uncomfortable, then my advice to you, for no reason, she's never made you feel like a threat. She's never came on to me in any kind of way. We've always included you if it was something going on. So what's the issue?
Yeah.
That means that's an insecurity within yourself. And now you want to put this insecurity on me and manipulate the situation all at the same time, which is what people do relationally. It's my job in a relationship is to make sure that you're happy. Your job is to make sure I'm happy, but it's not to change your dynamics and who you are as an individual.
I just want to show you my happy life.
There you go. And I want to add to your happiness. Mm-hmm. If you're already happy, my job is to add to, not take away. So if it's uncomfortable for me now to be in this situation, now you've made my life uncomfortable because now you're uncomfortable. You see what I'm saying? Do you see the dynamics of how all of this gets squared away and how it all gets messed up? And now it's being a whole clusterfuck in a sense, because now some decisions have to be made. lack of security and lack of understanding. It was already there. If I wanted to be with her, you don't think I had the opportunity to be with her already before you came along? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't think I would have, if I wanted to holler at that, you don't think I had that opportunity at any point in time in my life? Right. So now all of a sudden you feel like when I got with you, it was just a green light came off and said I wanted to be with her.
Gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen? No, that's not how that works.
You don't paint the picture in your mind that ain't even capable of happening.
That could be an insecurity. That can be intimidation. That can be a lot of different things. It doesn't just
But it's
happen.
for that woman to figure it out. That ain't for nobody. That ain't nobody else's business or problem.
Right.
That ain't nobody else's shit. That's your shit. Now go figure out if you can be with a man that has that type of dynamic of friendship. Can you be with a man that has had a long-term friendship with a woman? Can you be with a man that you're gonna have these insecurities about? Those decisions you gotta come to terms with.
You gotta be confident within yourself.
And tell him straight up. Now if you going to him and being like, hey, I can't do this. You know, hell no, I'm always think something, and he say, no, I want you, I need you, I'll do something. That's his ass. But your ass need to figure out what you're capable of doing. Do you have the mental capacity, the self-esteem, the confidence? Do you have what it takes to be with that person? And you answer it yourself. It ain't nobody else's fucking business.
Chris asked, what happens if you confide in your woman or male best friend more than you confide in your significant other?
This is what I'll say with that. There's nothing wrong with confiding in your friend. You just have to make sure that understanding was already set. What gets strange is when I'm in a relationship, I have a best friend, and now this best friend of the opposite sex, or whatever the case may be, now, since I've gotten with somebody, they've become more needy. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now my friend has become more needy since and it might just be, luckily, just might be a messed up situation where it just happened that way.
Yeah.
But they've become more needy in this moment, and now this person has recognized that this person is needy, or this person has become needy. So now I'm in the middle of this triangle, in a sense. I'm in the middle trying to fix this and still be there for my friend, but also still keep this person secure. So there's nothing wrong with it. Just know that that person in the middle has a very hard dynamic to try to fix and try to keep, if that makes sense, to answer a question.
Also, with Chris' question, what some people have to come to realize in an emotional intelligence standpoint, that
I see all the questions.
if an
cool.
issue is in the partner, of course, they're not going to confide in the partner that they have the same issue with. You will more than likely confide in your friend to get more advice, different input, different perspective, or to get some shit off your chest in a way that you probably wouldn't say it to your partner. Like, you ain't gonna come to your partner and be like, and the bitch had the audacity to say to me, and this is the bitch you talking about. You're not gonna do that. But if you gotta go to your friend and be like, and the bitch had the audacity to say to me, and your friend could be like, hey, maybe you're overreacting a little bit. Or, I get what you're saying, but it could be a different way we can probably handle this. Sometimes a different perspective of a safe friend who has created a safe space for you to do that with your best interest at heart. I don't think the partner should have a issue with that.
You still got to be honest at the end of the day. It's still it's a real thin line, because you don't want to make it seem like at any point of time you're picking a side. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
you just want to be honest. And honesty is the best policy. Even if it's what the best friend don't want to hear, or even if it's what the mate don't want to hear. Honesty is still the best policy. What you got, bud?
If I feel like if a person could find more in their best friend than their partner, that ain't nobody's motherfucking business either. Cause that person have to, just like you're saying, be comfortable talking regardless. What you trying to get out, you trying to get out. If you confining about something, it's something you're trying to figure out or rationalize or something. And if your spouse isn't the person you can have that conversation with, and this person is this person you can have that conversation with, have the conversation. Get to what you're trying to figure out, and then you can. But I don't think because you're confining in your best friend over your spouse, it changes the love anywhere. No, it's getting to an understanding of something. Now, if it's, even if it's everything, like I run every decision. And not me personally, but if I run every decision by my best friend, that's what the fuck I chose to do.
Right.
I don't need confirmation on the decision. So what?
And it doesn't mean that I love that person more than I love
so
you.
fucking what? If she had to talk to her bras, her friends, her sisters before bringing a solution to me, I honestly would understand it, knowing how hot-headed I could be.
Correct.
Yes.
So if you had to go run this by somebody else first, what I'm gonna say? Did you have this conversation before?
I guess
So, like, how would they know? Like,
I don't understand why it makes a
Why would
difference
it
on
be
who
a
I'm gonna go talk to
thing
who I'm
to
comfortable
feel?
with.
Yes.
Whoever I'm comfortable with that conversation, that's who I'm
And
going to talk to.
That's the key piece. That conversation. Like, if you gave your sister $100 and your sister didn't pay that shit back, and you confided in your spouse that your sister didn't pay that $100 back, and now your spouse want to do something about
And
it,
she's gonna beef with it the whole time. And even if I say we resolved it, she's still gonna beef
it's
with
still
it.
not going to be okay.
Right.
Maybe that was a better friend conversation to have, to be like, you're not wrong for how you feel and handle it accordingly. And your partner still ain't got to be upset on your behalf, because we can't dictate their emotions at the point they love you and care for you enough. Well, I'm not going to let my partner be bullied or used by anybody, including their family.
True.
Like, I think in situations like that, depending on how situations are, you do need to pick and choose who you confide in, depending on what type of response is needed.
That's the reason why we have what we was talking about earlier. That's the reason why we have a village. Is because there's certain things I'm not going to talk to my mate about. I don't feel like she fits or the criteria of me talking about that. I don't want her to feel away.
Yeah.
I might not talk to my best friend about it. I might go talk to my sister about it. It all depends on what the dynamics is of the situation, who I talk to. That's just like if I needed some money, there's certain people I'm not going to ask for no money for.
Right.
I'm going to go ask the person that I feel like I can get the money from.
That's not even what confuses me. What confuses me is the person that can have a feeling about something you need.
Why you didn't come ask me?
Like, that's weird.
That's the
Wait a minute.
I didn't feel like.
Is this my life or no?
I
Do I
make
make decisions on my life or you? If what I need was solely in you, what the fuck? That's what's confusing to me, is the person that don't understand somebody else needing other things and wanting them to be the focal point, the centerpiece of shit. Like, what's wrong with you? It's so many people. It's a billion people.
Men and women both do that. Women
It's
be like, oh, you let me out, and then men will be like, why you ask him to do it?
I've said this 1,000 times.
Who do you think you are? And then when you figure out who you think you are to me, because that's why I'm confused at. You know, like, you can't make a decision about me or my life. You can't have a feeling about me and my life, because we're not two different lives.
I've said it 1,000 times, is that no one person can do everything for another person.
Why would you want that type of pressure?
I'm just saying, no one person can do everything for another person. Again, no one person can do everything for another person. I train all day. My mate, if they work, they can't go get me food if I'm hungry. You see what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
If I got my lunch at home, quote unquote, let's just say she made my lunch and I forgot it at home and she's at work and I'm at the gym. I can't, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm supposed to starve because you made me lunch and you don't want me to get nothing to eat from nobody. It don't even matter. Who's to say?
Who want to get it? Let me send her the money.
Right. Who's to say I didn't pay for it? Who's to say I didn't give this person the money to get my food? All I need them to do is just go get it. But now you mad because Jessica went and got my food or went and bought me some food. Now you feel away.
My life would put that person in a straitjacket.
Oh, my life would put them person obsolete in my life.
Straitjacket.
Like they wouldn't be with me.
I'm gonna drive you crazy as a motherfucker.
It wouldn't be with me because the reality of it is that you can't fulfill every need that I need in the moment, and I can't do that for you. If you was at work and you needed lunch and couldn't get it, let's just say you left your purse at home. I can't get mad because Tim, you know what I'm saying, bought lunch for the whole staff today. Oh, I'm gonna get mad because he bought lunch for everybody.
No, wait, you got to put in the same context you put Jessica.
But either way,
Tim went and got hers. You can't
either way.
It don't even be that. Jessica cooked for you and brought you something to eat from her house that she put some heart and soul in.
Oh my
That's
God.
the shit I be seeing on TikTok. That bitch.
Oh my
babe,
God.
Cook my man a meal like
So,
I can't cook.
but
Yeah.
it wasn't purpose.
Yeah.
Let's just say, hey, I don't know.
Just
I just
like
try to
that.
figure out like why do
Tell
people
Tell Jessica bring
I'm
me
just
a
not
cook.
into it.
I'm trying to-
I want one of them.
I'm trying to figure out like why do people take ownership in other people?
Property.
I don't own you. You're
I
more
think
than
the way
welcome
we
to
talk.
do
Mhm.
I think
whatever.
the way we was taught.
Oh, we probably was
We
taught
was
that way.
taught ownership. Women were taught to, you got to do everything for that man. You got to get up, cook, clean, iron, take care of his kid. We were taught ownership. So now we're having to unlearn those boundaries.
No, because women do it probably just as much as men now.
That's,
so
no,
now-
that's what I'm saying.
Taught that
That's what I'm saying. Women
want
are,
they person.
we're having to unlearn.
But that's exactly what was taught. It's just what she said.
Yeah.
Like women own their men too. You go to work and you bring your ass home. And I'm gonna have everything at the home
everything ready for
done
you. That's what
because
we
I'm
was
already
told.
here.
Yeah.
It wasn't no baby, I'm gonna go to the bar after work, you can pull up or I'll be home late. It wasn't none of that shit.
No.
Your ass supposed to be home because you've been at work all day.
And now you're
And-
tired and I'm ready to rub your feet while you eat the
Yeah.
steak and watch the game. Yeah,
It
we
is
are,
shit like
that's
that.
what we grow
That's
up
still-
learning.
Ain't no superwoman and Superman out
No.
here. Ain't
Nah.
none.
But we're having to
They know.
unlearn
Fucking
those.
ruined to the ground. Men were overworked, no good by the time they get 30. Shit, let's be real. Women had no mental breaks because you're just thinking about other people all day, whether they little and can't talk or you at work all day walking
Somebody
and running
said,
your
say
shit.
that, girl. I can't see,
Right?
but I can see.
Yeah, that was,
That-
that was Stephanie.
So we got some
That's
questions.
the reality.
We don't got no
That's
questions yet.
disgusting.
No, ladies, do y'all got some questions?
That's
Gentlemen,
just
y'all got some
that's just
questions?
a really. It stemmed from the old practice of a monogamous relationship.
All this
And
shit
then
is conditioned.
we're unlearning those things. Like, you know, tell her go get you something to eat because I'm at work or I'm out or whatever, and being okay with that. I think those things are okay if you trust your partner. If you don't trust your partner, then you don't need to be with. Period.
Mhm, period.
If you start having doubts in your partner, you need to. Hey, I'm having doubts in you.
Let's hash it out.
That's it.
We either gonna hash it out or we gonna, as my favorite thing to say, we gonna bow. I'm bow gracefully. You bow gracefully. I see you when I see you.
Mhm.
It's. I mean, those things. You can't move the old ways and then say you want something different.
Mhm.
Them old ways don't fit now.
Yep. So
And
right.
I like some of the, like, I'm not gonna just completely dismiss the old ways. It's
I don't.
It's a great
Yeah, not all of them. Wait, let me
satisfaction
say, not all
that
of
I
them.
have that when I've been at home all day and my partner been at work all day, that she comes home to a clean house and the peace that comes over her face, or the thank you, the acknowledgement that I did this for the benefit of you and I today,
Mhm.
because your ass been working all day. It doesn't discredit the fact, ladies, that you've been at work all week and this just happened to be your particular off day. It doesn't discredit that fact. It just meant that you tried to do a little something extra.
Yeah.
I think women, and I can speak on it because I'm a woman, we get into this thing where we feel like I'm doing too much.
Mhm.
I don't know what that switch is that
Oh my
happens.
God.
You could be doing it all the day, every day. This is your routine. This is your practice. This is just what you have equipped your mate to expect of you. And then out of nowhere, you just feel like, I got to reel this in real fast because I'm doing too much. And nothing could have happened.
I think we
Nothing
do
could
that
have happened.
sometimes when we
Come
start telling ourselves that they don't show that they appreciate it.
And
And
that's
then you
still
be
a
like,
form of
damn, I'm-
manipulation.
Yep.
Because instead of telling your partner,
Communicating
I
that.
feel that I don't feel appreciated or acknowledged, it's not even, I think acknowledgement is a big thing. Like, I feel like you should acknowledge this, or did you acknowledge this, or did you see me doing this? But instead, we would rather stop doing it altogether to manipulate the partner into thinking like, hey, did I do something wrong? When in all actuality, this person didn't do anything wrong.
And
Or-
sometimes I don't think it's manipulating the partner. I think, because I've been guilty of this, I manipulate myself. When I feel like I'm not being appreciated, or if I feel invisible to that person, I'll pull back because I'm telling myself like, okay, no, this is probably too good to be true. This is not going to be what you think it is. So go ahead and pull it back so that you don't get hurt at the end when this person tell you that they don't need you no more and they got somebody else to do.
Or
You
it's
manipulate
just
your own mindset.
it's just the fact of
That was
you
good.
want to dictate when I acknowledge you.
Mhm.
A lot of times people want to manipulate the situation because they want it at a certain time.
Mhm.
So you're pulling back now because you were expecting me on Monday to tell you that I appreciate it, and I didn't tell you till Thursday. You see what I'm saying? It's a time thing for some people.
It is. It's called, okay, so in psychology, you have different reinforcement schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And so if your positive reinforcement schedule is a stimulant and it's immediate reinforcement,
Absolutely.
that's what conditioned that person of the acknowledgement. So yeah, depending on how that person functions with how they like reinforcement or feedback or whatever we want to call it, because people don't like those terminologies.
Right.
That sound like you're training your human.
Right.
But
Which
you are. But you are. Sometimes that person does need that immediate reinforcement for them to still respond to the stimulant, because you can stop responding to your stimulant. So if you, Dion, are my stimulant, which causes me to want to do for you, and your reinforcement schedule isn't implemented in the time of you giving me my stimulant, I no longer respond to you. So that becomes a you problem at the fact that I needed my acknowledgement on Monday and you didn't give it until Thursday.
But see,
But that's not a me problem.
I
That wouldn't be a me
I
problem.
get
That
that.
person's gonna make it a you problem.
But they're going to make it a me
Right.
problem. But the reality of it is it's really a you problem, because the reality of it is that you needed something in a time, and you're probably dealing with a person that ain't got nothing to do with time. They do it. They beat at they move on their own drum.
Right.
So
had a whole nother plan.
right, or had something totally
like,
different
if
set
this
up,
happens-
and you didn't turn me off. Now I don't even want to do this shit no more.
Right. I'm aware of you needing that, your thank yous and all of that. So that wouldn't be, you would not get your acknowledgement.
Yeah.
But when I would see that, I would think, and we're going to RH this weekend.
Yeah.
That's our time off. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't think, oh, thank you. I'm gonna show you the same gesture as
Absolutely.
the joy that I feel. So thank you, baby. I love the house. The house is clean, cool. But I immediately think, and on our day off, we going to such. I'm
about to
finna
take
go
you
do
out.
it.
But she wanted it on Wednesday.
But you want
That's
it
the
then.
issue.
And that's the problem. The problem is that person no longer will respond, start thinking they're doing too much, and now they're resolving back into themselves. It's a full circle and it's a full cycle, instead of just saying, hey, baby, you know this, or just asking that person for what you want. And then you will still be less likely of being turned off about it.
But is it really manipulation? Because when you think about it,
that is manipulation.
because at the end of the day, you wanted me to do it at a certain time.
Yeah.
You wanted me to acknowledge you at a certain time. So did you only do what you did for the
For the-
acknowledgement?
No,
Hell no. The house was dirty. At the end of the day,
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
asking.
no. Ain't nobody
I'm
clean
just
no house
asking.
just
You
for
feel
no
what I'm
thank
saying,
you.
Blaq?
Hold up, wait. Ain't nobody for this example's sake, because I know what you're saying, and that shit does happen.
Mhm.
Like the only reason why I'm going out of my way today to do this
Mhm.
for you is because I want something in return from you.
Mhm.
But in this example, ain't nobody cleaning up no motherfucking house for no thank
True.
you. That's a lot of time, energy, and calories.
True.
Ain't nobody going there.
True.
It needed to be clean regardless.
Right.
But the acknowledgement of me doing it, that's what.
But it's kind of hard to
I
acknowledge you, and I'm gonna let you go. But it's kind of hard to acknowledge something that you just said was supposed to be done. Like, yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
You don't get acknowledgement. The provider don't get acknowledgement for paying the bills.
But
Like,
you
I
do.
appreciate
But
the
you get your
acknowledge-
thank you
But see,
as
that's the
well.
thing.
Unless a woman
I
tells you thank
appreciate
you.
my kids' moms telling me that I'm a great father and all that, but the reality of it is they don't have to do that.
Right.
That's something that I'm supposed to do regardless.
But you just said you still appreciate
I
that.
do
gesture.
appreciate
Because
it.
if they never said it, it'd be like,
It don't. No. I can't get offended if they never say it, because the reality of it is I got it. This shit got to get done anyway.
It doesn't mean that you get offended, but then you start questioning, do they see the things that I do?
I ain't
But-
worried about if they
But
see it.
that's
As long
the
as my
thing
kids
about
see it. That's a whole nother
positive-
topic.
Wait, but
I get what you're
okay,
saying, but I
was
get
about
it.
to say, I've
real
heard
quick.
time and time.
But if I do something you dislike with the negative reinforcement, because it's the flip side of everything, like this is what you're supposed to do. But as soon as I do what I'm not supposed to do, you walking in this motherfucking house talking about, damn, you ain't cleaned up in shit 4 weeks. What's
get it.
really going
I
on?
get it.
Well, nigga, you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
You notice when I'm not cleaning, but you ain't noticing when I am. It's just like when you tell your kid you supposed to get all A's on their report card. And you're like, that's what you're supposed to do.
And then
But
when
as soon as they get that C and them D's, oh, what the fuck going on? What's going on? Nigga, why you weren't there when I was doing the good?
I think that's
Like,
the ego stroking though.
maybe it is, but we're not gonna act like it's not necessary.
Okay.
In a lot of ways, it is necessary.
Okay.
It is. So we can't discredit everything as it's not necessary because we don't notice that it is because it's already there and expected. Like,
and then also that's what I was gonna say earlier when you were saying about, you know, I might not give you all your praise right now because later on we're gonna do something. By the end of the week, we might not even correlate that you might be doing it to say thank you for what I did earlier this week.
But that's not your place.
But
Go
listen, especially if it's something that we always do. It might not dawn on me like, dang, you taking me out to eat as a thank you, you know, that this week I made sure that this was done and this was done and you appreciate my support. Or even during that dinner, you don't say that. It's just we had dinner and this is something that we always do.
But
because it's not an exchange.
Yeah.
I just want to make you just as happy as you made me.
But that's what I'm saying.
But see, my gesture is coming home, and I'm gonna be equally as happy to come home to a clean house as I would be taking you on a date, showing you off to the world, or taking you. And you definitely know the difference between going to eat dinner and a fucking date. I'm just taking your ass to RH because you hungry, huh? Okay. No.
well, you act a little rich, so yeah.
I'll go to RH because I'm hungry. But you know what I'm saying? When I'm hungry, yes. But if I'm taking you there, it's because I want to show you my ambience. You know what I'm saying?
Pause. What the hell is RH?
See what I'm saying?
We're gonna take you to this.
Okay.
All right.
So that's all another topic.
You know the difference between us finna go to Boomer Jacks and us going to RH.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
I get that.
and that the gesture isn't for you to acknowledge, oh, this is for cleaning the house. I just want to reward you for being kind to me then. It ain't, oh, and this is for cleaning the house the other day.
Stephanie
That'll
said
make
just
me
give more compliments. They go a long way.
Compliments do go a long way. But
disagree.
the acknowledgement is the same.
I disagree.
You know, you ain't even gotta pull the wool over nobody. Oh baby, you ain't gotta do the bullshit. It's just acknowledgement on
I compliment
the effort.
I compliment
Both
your
you
ass
put in
all day
effort
long, but I'll be blowing
in the
smoke.
relationship.
But that's the problem. Why send a compliment if that's what
Exactly. That's why I'd rather do something. Like I agree with what Blaq said. I'd rather do something and just do it sporadically just to show you that.
But
Because-
It's
also,
supposed to be a balance of both.
it has to be
be
whatever
honest.
that person
Love language is.
So
Absolutely.
you're doing
Absolutely.
an act of service out of your love language being an act of
That's right.
service. But Dion acknowledgement would be like, damn boy, you did that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because
so I
mine's
think
is
that's
words of affirmation.
right.
Absolutely.
So I think sometimes that's what people miss. But even gestures go a long way. Because when I brought up the example and said, when I see peace come over her face and she sit at the desk and she like, it's just, she does a little gesture. I'm like, that's also an acknowledgement.
That's all you needed.
That's all the nigga need is that, okay, it did what it was supposed to do for her. It impacted the emotion that you wanted, that she feels like I can unwind now because I didn't leave chaos and come into chaos. Because environment matters.
Because you have
know?
to. So that's why it's so important to know a person's love language. Because if you don't, you up here doing acts of service, and my shit is words of affirmation, and you thinking I'm supposed to acknowledge this acts of service, and I'm like, shit, you still ain't did shit.
Yeah.
You ain't told me thank
You ain't told you know what I'm saying? You ain't said.
And you like, I done spent like
Yeah.
$300 on a meal, sis. And you're like, well, all I did was a free thank you.
Yeah. All I needed was some
Sometimes
baby, I'm proud of you or something.
And
Yeah,
you know what I
I'm
also
good.
want to point out, I want to give you your flowers on camera. You also, I respect that the way you talk about certain things that you do also lets your wife know that, okay, yeah, when we doing this, oh, that's what she means. Because I don't think people tend to realize they don't listen to themselves sometimes. They'll devalue something and then expect for their mate to still value it. But I heard you devalue it. But you value, hey, if we're going to RH, we're going to look.
This ain't
that,
but
right.
this ain't no okie doke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
But-
they'll make when it's like, oh, baby, we're going to RH.
And that's a healthy balance.
It's cute.
Because if she has been at work all week, been just 8 in the morning to 10 at night, and those are those days, and it's all week long, and at the end of the week you're like, now I got time for you, I still like value that because I understand that you've been on your shit. So it goes both ways. You do have to definitely acknowledge your person and what they're doing, what their efforts mean. Go ahead.
Oh, let me throw a ranch in here for a second.
Oh,
All
man,
right.
we doing
So,
great.
I know it, right? But I gotta be a devil for a little bit.
Be
It
the
wouldn't
devil's
be great.
advocate.
It amazes me to where when women and men be like when they're out here looking for something, they're like, I want this. I want a woman that, you know what I'm saying, she works, she on her stuff, blah, blah, blah. I want a man that works, he does all that. Then when you get in a relationship with that person, It's like, they work too damn much. They, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even get no time. It's like, but this is what, first of all, this is where it requires to live. Have y'all not seen the economy?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Second of all, you knew this.
Yes and no.
Going in.
So, for example, and this is something
I
that
didn't make no extra
people
time with
please
you when we was
considered
dating.
it, because Black people are definitely doing this independence thing, rocking with y'all. It's totally different dating a 9-to-5 and an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's totally
Mhm.
motherfucking different.
Mhm.
And coming from a person who never had to experience dating an entrepreneur before her, my expectations were a little different. So I'm like, damn, you in school and you gotta go to the shop because you got an appointment until such and such time. Like shit like that, you definitely can be like, you spend a lot of time at work.
Mhm.
And that just shows that you also don't know your person's crap. Because when you literally like look at the fact that this person's a barber, with the time that takes into it, and also a loctician, how long that shit take, I'm like, damn, you got done this quick. It
Mhm.
changes things for you.
It changes.
It changes. So it's a teaching thing. So, and a lot of people aren't good teachers. So you need a motherfucker with some patience and somebody that's willing or value you enough to say, I want to teach this person, because everybody don't need your time in that way too. Sometimes those are the challenges that people have, and we don't know it until you in the thick of it. Because at some point you could be like, this motherfucker person don't understand that I got a gym. No, because they just used to going to Planet
work.
Fitness
Yeah.
for their little 2-hour session, and then they're gone,
And then they done.
not realizing the hours that this motherfucking gym stays open.
Right.
And Stephanie said that's when you value any amount of time spent with that person.
Exactly. But
Right
people
on.
don't get to that. They start manipulating, and now they want you to change your livelihood that
Yeah.
attracted them in the first place.
Yeah, right on.
For your devil's advocate.
And that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
And that's
And
exactly
that's
what
what I'm
happens.
talking about.
That's exactly what happens. Like, it's just like all of a sudden it's like, this is what turns you on. So how does what turns you on about me now turns you off? That's weird to me.
Because they thought you was a
That's
magician instead of
weird.
a trainer.
That's strange. Y'all don't find that strange that
It is very
that
strange.
very thing that attracted that person to you is the very thing that is not attractive to that person to you anymore?
Yes.
Like, that's
Weird.
weird. So it's like, what the fuck do you really want?
Yeah.
Because I don't
Then
think
that's when I started asking you that.
Like with that,
Like, what do you really want?
to manipulate your life.
No,
No,
you don't
it's
want to
not even
To
manipulate
be
my
the
life.
main character in your life.
It's not
Like,
even
now you
that.
want me to
They
give you
did
more
it.
time.
They lied to themselves. They told themselves, "Oh, I can handle this. You can."
Yeah.
Black and I used
And when
to
you
say,
figure out you can, you need to bow out gracefully.
Yeah.
Black and
Yes.
I used to say that love shouldn't be sacrificial.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that person is looking for, is for you to sacrifice for them.
How?
Because they literally equate sacrifice and love.
So
in
if
the
I
same
stop working,
box.
you gonna take care of me?
They would feel like it was more special that your ass got off early and don't know that you got 3
Cancel.
bills due.
And had to cancel 5 people.
And this
But
would
them
have
being
paid
chosen
over
your
that.
choice over something.
Oh, they love me. These
Ooh, I can't
big
be with
grand
somebody like that.
gestures
I
of
hate
love.
that.
I tell
And
people,
I know y'all done had this
Right.
in y'all
Ooh, I
lives
hate
at some
that.
point.
I tell people off the rip, the only time I'm taking off is got something to do with my kids. Everything else got to be planned. They are the only ones that can actually get me to say, you know what, I ain't going in today.
Yeah.
But that's the love. I can't do that every time you want to go do something.
Correct.
Then that means we got to plan this around this little 2 hours, 48 hours, Saturday and Sunday, and might be just Saturday. But and yeah, just might be Saturday.
That might be a half a day if you got
Might be a half a
something
day.
to do.
But we
it
go
is
out to
what
plan
it
it,
is,
but
and
it
you
is
can
what it
decide
is.
if you can be in that space.
Right.
Do you want to date somebody that have these type of boundaries and precautions in place?
Yep.
That's your choice.
Stephanie said half of these people be attracted to the thought, not the man. Everybody can't handle a hardworking man.
Oh, let me go there. That's just like every
Push
woman
play.
can't handle. Oh yeah, I'm finna push it real.
Push
Finna
play,
push
bro.
it hard. That's why a lot of women can't handle a man that really takes care of his kids.
Mhm.
If you want me to go there, because the reality of it is that in order for me to take care of my kids the way I'm supposed to take care of my kids, that means I'm gonna have less time for your ass.
I knew a long time ago.
Let's keep that-
With you.
Yeah, let's keep that 100. So all these I like a man that take care. I know you like it. I know you like it. It's good. It's an attractive feature. But the reality of it is I promise you, I won't have that much time for you, baby.
Yeah.
I won't. And even women that have kids don't understand that. Even women that have kids don't understand it.
Yeah, leave them damn kids at house.
Want to know why they don't understand it? Is because maybe they have a little bit more free reign than I do.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Maybe they can just go pawn theirs off on mama or something for, and she don't be tripping. I don't allow myself to do that. My mama don't trip either, but I want her to take care of her grandkids when she feel like it.
Yeah.
Not because I'm forcing her to. So no. So be careful of what you're attracted to and ask yourself, is that just an attraction or is that something that you gotta have?
Like
That's the difference.
For these little stud daddies that out here, yeah. In my dating days, I would be quick to say that ain't your motherfucking baby. I don't care what you done tried to invest in, and you was there for day one. And
how much daycare you done paid for?
And you like, I gotta go pick up my son. I was like, what, bitch? What? I knew then at that point that I wasn't mature enough to handle someone who has invested in another child's life. And the reason why I say that, because it's fathers out here, Dion is a great example, that will love on your kid that are not biologically theirs and will still treat that kid like that's biologically theirs.
Right.
So in a lesbian established relationship, that's exactly what is happening and occurring. You just can't automatically switch up this person's lifestyle because of how you view their love for a particular child. It's weird. It's definitely weird. And it is something that will attract the person. Like, it makes them feel like, well, when you're a daddy to my kids, he's going to be awesome. Forgetting that he still got to be a daddy to his kids. It's
I'm trying. Crazy. I'm trying to put the binoculars on. What Stephanie say?
Those are facts. The women that are more hands-on. When we were talking about the kids and time, women who are more hands-on don't have time, just like men who are more hands-on don't have time.
You just gotta know. You gotta know what a man can offer a lot of attractive features. Okay, and he might be very attractive to you in your eyes, but you gotta ask yourself, and this is really deep. You gotta ask yourself, am I attracted to him because I really like him, or am I attracted to him because he's showing me daddy features? Daddy features. And what I mean by daddy features is things that maybe you didn't have as a young lady growing up. So you admire this man for doing what your daddy didn't. Yes. You see what I'm saying? So then you can't
be a daddy to her.
Right. But the thing is that for some reason, sometimes you get caught up in the fact that, dang, I really like him because he does A, B, C, D, and he's there for his kids. But then you don't like what comes with that. Right. Because now you free and I ain't. Now you can go here. You want to go take trips. You want to go across the country. I can't. You see what I'm saying? So then you ask yourself, damn, can I really put up with this? That's why I've always said, you don't want me. I try to push women away. You don't want me. I come with a lot of work and I come with a lot of stuff. You don't want me. Trust me, you don't want to have no problems with me.
Now my question for you, Dion, at the point that you get over the dating stage, because I feel like that's what we're talking about, and you actually feel like this lady's your lady, like this is my woman. At that time, do you figure out a way to make her a priority in your schedule too, or it just stays what it is?
I figure it out, but at the same time, there are certain things that I can't figure out.
Right. No, I understand that.
Some things aren't changeable.
Yeah, I'm not saying that she gets a day of the week. That's unrealistic, especially as a father.
Right.
What I'm saying though is, now, would you put an effort in? Maybe we won't even put a time on it. Just randomly, you like, let me take her across the country.
Oh no,
would you do that?
No. Not at the age that my kids is right now. I'm not willing.
For a weekend?
I'm not willing to go across the country for nobody. Not at the age that my kids are right now. Okay. My kids 10, 8, and 3. And I wouldn't be able to live with myself if something happened to my kids and I wasn't in the country with no.
Okay. Would you do a trip in the country?
Yeah.
Nigga, like, can we go to Austin,
baby? Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that.
Okay.
But
I just got that, you know what I'm saying? At what point do busy people make a little flexibility for the person that they have?
But I also need them to be considerate of what I have. If you know the type of father that I am, I need you to be considerate to know. Don't ask me to go no fucking Africa.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, let's be realistic here. Like, you know the type of person I am. You know the type of father I am. You know the type of man I am. Why would you ask me to go to Africa, Paris, London, like whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you ask me that? And you know,
I don't think that would be.
I think that's a smart balance.
That's just like, again, it goes back to being attractive to a man that does this, but then when you get with that man, you don't like that.
Yeah. I understand it. I get that.
It's a weird dynamic. People always use that stupid saying of, You make time for what you want. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. And I hope my mom didn't watch. That's bullshit. The reality of it is that yes, you can make time for what you want sometimes, but sometimes the things that you have to do is going to always overrule what you want to do.
Yes.
And people need to understand it. Your job is going to overrule us going to whatever. You know what I'm saying? If money comes, I got to go make the money. So you got to understand that at the end of the day, that don't try to get somebody to sacrifice something for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sacrifice shit for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sacrifice a date for you, and I know that they got a game on this day.
Right.
And we're going to link up after this game or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it is that you want me to make sacrifices and things that was there once again before you.
Yeah.
If I gotta change it for you, just consider.
Just know that I'm gonna slide. I'm gonna slide, and I've learned that the hard way because I've tried both ways. So that's why I can say with confidence now that no, I can't do that for you, and I need you to respect the fact that I can't do that for you.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then I'm just not the guy for you. But you can't go out here talking bad about me in these streets saying that I wasn't willing to do A, B, C, D. I wasn't willing to do A, B, C, D because you don't come before A, B, C, D. You maybe be F, G, H. A, B, C, D is first though. So respect that and gracefully bow out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else you want somebody to do?
Do you want to be a part of my life?
Because my life is complicated. And you got to ask yourself that if you're going to be a part of my life, ask yourself, can you be a part of my life? Are you okay with maybe having a weekend? You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. Are you okay with the fact that maybe this week it might just be a couple of hours? Or are you okay with that? I'm trying.
Be honest with you.
Right. I'm trying. It ain't like I'm just putting you to the back burner all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but this is all the time that I got right now. And then I still got to consider me. Rest, peace, I'm a be to myself type of person. Every now and then, I just don't want to do nothing but sit at the house and look at the walls. I am like that. So the reality of it is that, and I'm sure not putting nobody in front of my own peace. So where's the balance?
Yeah.
You know, be honest with yourself. And
why you need somebody to sacrifice for you in that way? That's selfish.
Yep.
You know, and if you can take somebody like that, what you called them yesterday, shapeshifters. If you can be a shapeshifter to get to know somebody, to adjust to them, to change them, it ain't no place for you. This place is no place for you, you know, because there's so many people you can shapeshift into. You would never know who you are if you're just willing to manipulate people into being what you need right now. What happened when you don't want that no more?
Yeah, because you're never satisfied. Let us say I do make time for you and we do go to wherever. Then when we get back, that's what you're going to expect going forward. So then when I turn you down the next time, now you're not satisfied anymore. Now you're mad. Then let me just go on and not do it for you from the jump. So you can never say, well, you did it for me this time, because that's what people do.
Mm-hmm.
If I do it for you once, it's just like the money thing we were talking about. If I do it for you once, now you expect me to do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say this time, I had the opportunity to do it. Kids was out of town with their moms or something, you know, I had some free time. So we was able to go take a getaway.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen all the time though.
Right.
So then the next time you ask me, hey, let's go do what we did. I can't do that this weekend. Now you mad because the reality of it is that you was expecting that to be something consistent. Well, it's not consistent. So we're going to take it however we can get it. Believe me, if I could, I would.
Yeah.
But my responsibility supersede making you completely happy.
Mm-hmm.
And who's to say even in making you completely happy that I'm really making you completely happy? It's a lot that goes with it.
Mm-hmm. But I definitely think we was definitely taught this perception of the sacrificial love, and within being taught that sacrificial love, you was taught ownership and women becoming property and manipulation, unfortunately. And so that's what it seems the structure of relationships was built off, and that's why it's so hard today, is because we're trying to unlearn those things and develop real constructs that we could understand and be proud of, and we keep running into Nah, but what we know is a whole bunch of toxic shit.
Whole bunch of toxic shit.
Yeah.
The reality of it is that I think what I learned today is I need to find out what RH is.
We'll take
That's
you.
the first thing I learned today. But I think the second thing I learned is that I used to give myself, I used to beat myself up about the not being able to make time for people. The people make time for what they want type of cliche. I used to beat myself up about that and used to try to ask myself, hey, can I do this? Can I squeeze in some time? Until I realized, kind of like what DJ was saying earlier, that I was manipulating myself into trying to make other people happy. Now I say, stick to whatever it is. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah. And a real woman is going to respect that and understand that. And when we say about making time, it's not always a grand gesture. And I think that's what people don't understand when they say people make time for what's important to them. Me, in between my workout clients, shooting a thinking about you text, hope your day going good, talk to you later when I get a break type shit. That's me making time.
Absolutely.
And that should be valued and appreciated because you thought about me in that moment.
Absolutely.
So I think when people feel like this person need to make time for me, that doesn't mean me in your face. That doesn't mean me in your space. That doesn't necessarily mean us across the country on a trip, whatever the fuck. Sometimes that mean in the middle of the day, I sent you a quick little text because that's probably all I had to give you was that. And we shit on those moments.
Right. I think, because I think as much as
A lot of people
as much as what we were saying though, sometimes relationally, I don't think words of affirmation is enough. It's like, for some people, because that's not their love language, I put it to you like this. People that love language isn't words of affirmation don't understand how important words of affirmation is.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. Because the reality of it is that those little things go very far with a person of words of affirmation. That's, for an example, if your parent ain't never tell you they love you and your love language is words of affirmation, that's gonna bother you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
I'm just telling you what it is. It's a known fact. So acts of kindness or gifts, that's easy. But just because I give you something don't necessarily mean I love you. It might, because that's my love language, it's easy for me to do that. You see what I'm saying? Words of affirmation is a hard one. Because if your mate don't know how to communicate, how they gonna give you words of affirmation? You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is like real. Like, how they gonna give you that? How y'all gonna make that work? If they ain't never, if they ain't never heard words of affirmation in their life, because I believe every individual needs words of affirmation.
Yeah.
So if they ain't never heard words of affirmation in their life, and your love language is words of affirmation, how are they going to give you words of affirmation?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I was in a relationship once where I was explaining to my partner at the time that, you hurt my feelings when you did that. The bitch went and bought me a video game, and I couldn't reason. Bullshit, it was Tomb Raider, and I was mad at motherfucker. To this day, I have never played that goddamn game. Never bought another Tomb Raider game in my life at that point, because it's like, what are we doing here? It was just like a moment of just like, you don't know me at all. Because on a random day, that would have been so appreciated. But when I tell you that this hurt my feelings, this bothers me, and this is your response, and you don't change your behavior at that point. But it's definitely understanding the fact that you didn't know how to communicate, because that person didn't know how to communicate at all.
Yeah. And his words of affirmation is tricky too, because it has to, people that love languages, words of affirmation are crazy that we go on this with. They can tell when it's genuine or not.
Yeah.
So, like, I can tell when you say little things to me. I know when it's genuine or not, and I know when it's scripted.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if it's in a text message, if it's in a voice record. I don't give a damn what it is. Because I read text messages in people's voice that text.
Hell yeah. Yes.
I read them in their voice.
I would say it back.
Don't be laughing at me, Blaq. I say it when I'm in my head and I'm reading the text. If I read a text message that comes from you, and it's
what it sound like, Dion? What it sound like?
Hey, Papa, I'll just see how you doing. So that's exactly how it's going. That's exactly how I read it.
Yeah.
So now it's like, so now y'all know something about me that nobody knew. I read things. Whoever texting me, that's how I read it.
Yep.
I don't care if it's a client that just texting me their days of the week. I'm reading it in their voice.
I relate to Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I would literally tell people, I read this in your voice. Like,
Yeah.
that would be my response back.
And that's every time.
Yeah.
So if you tell me you tell me something, I'm gonna know if it's genuine because I'm reading it in your voice.
Yeah.
We got a question.
Go ahead.
So Chris asked, so is it fair to say a person that's love language is quality time that wouldn't be a good partner for someone who has limited time?
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
1000%.
I agree with you with yes, except if that person knows how to handle it.
You don't.
A
You ain't
person
gonna
who
know how to
love
handle
language
it.
is quality
You
time
can.
is
You can.
never gonna understand or know how to handle
Why you don't have time?
why that person don't got time.
Ooh,
I
going
disagree.
sideways, but
I disagree with y'all.
might
I don't
need
never
to love
disagree. I'll
language
tell y'all why.
You want to do love language again?
we might have to.
Yeah.
I pray
Love
love language
quality
back.
time?
Yeah, yes.
But
And
okay,
I
is
fuck with
it-
somebody who doesn't have time, but I understand it.
but
I
wait,
know how
wait.
to reason with it.
Your reason with it isn't exclusive.
And you still are gonna always want time that you ain't ever gonna get.
But it doesn't mean that I shouldn't date somebody who doesn't have time.
True, that's your choice.
But
It's
that's what I'm saying.
always.
But you have to
Your
know
motherfucking
yourself
choice.
though, because the thing is,
I miss
I
it.
value quality time, but I can get quality time for myself. I don't need somebody else to fill that quality time void.
But we're talking about a love language. So
But-
love
but
language
that's what I'm saying.
normally.
So like I can appreciate that person when they have time for me, and when they don't, I understand it. I don't take no. But again, I know myself.
Do you still
And
consider it
me
quality
5
time?
years ago couldn't have done it. Me
Mhm.
now can.
Okay,
So
that's valid.
you now D, do you consider quality time with a person even if you're in a shared space with them? Because I guess it depends on how people view quality time. Because I've noticed that just because you have a love language does not mean that it's created like everybody else.
Yeah.
Black acts of service is not going to be Terica's acts of service.
Yeah.
Like it could be different. You know what I mean? It could just be completely different. Black is pretty simple with acts of service. You playing something for me.
Yeah.
Cool. You
No,
called
it's
and
not.
made an appointment. Cool. And Terica's like, oh, you done planned a trip for us to go out here
Something bigger.
at this resort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is your quality time requirement of being exclusive, one-on-one?
I would say yes, but not in the way that most people think. Like if we got 5 minutes of one-on-one time and we laughed our asses off, I'm good. That's
Okay.
all I needed. Like I'm straight.
You need
If
like a
we
little
got-
boost, like a
If
little
we got a time where we talking on the phone, on the text message, whatever the case may be, that's quality time to me.
Okay.
and
Because I
think
know
that's
that
fair.
you could have been doing something else, but you're talking to me right now.
I would
So
say
I
that
find-
you
I
are
find
a
it good.
special woman, DJ. I would just put it
Do
like
you
that.
view
I
that
would-
as sacrificial?
I'm looking at these.
Like they
And-
sacrificed that time.
Did you sacrifice? Are you
No, but again, I manipulate my mindset, so I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you right now. I can tell myself like, oh, this is that, and it probably isn't. Like you realistically probably just had free time. It's like, let me call this bitch real quick.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, oh, this is real cute. Like, but it's good enough for me.
What
But I had to
DJ
learn how to
on
do it.
What
because
was
of
Chris?
childhood.
What Chris say again?
Chris Black Chris said you crazy. Sorry, Chris, I was looking up. Chris's original question was, so is it fair to say a person that's love language is quality time that wouldn't be a good partner for someone who has limited time?
So I would say,
This nigga got a book.
looking at
He
these
got his book
looking at these love languages, I would say yes. I still remain with my answer, yes. But after looking at these love languages, I'm starting to see that if whatever yours is, if yours is words of affirmation, for an example, but the other person's bottom is words of affirmation, you're in trouble.
Mhm.
You're in trouble.
I
If that
disagree.
person's, I'm gonna explain to it why. If that person's quality time is top, I'm talking about bottom, meaning like 1%.
Yeah.
Like if quality time, which was Chris's for an example, if quality time was her thing, and her mates was quality time, she in trouble. she's in trouble.
Probably with
I can
that
agree
one,
with that
I
one,
would
yeah.
probably say with that one, yes. Because how
Physical
you
touch
rate it.
too.
But I think
You know
you
what?
gotta-
If you in a relationship, you in trouble.
Say, for real. Think about it.
I disagree for the simple fact, for example, Black's bottom is words of affirmation. Her top is acts of service. My bottom is acts of service. No, it's actually receiving gifts. And my top is words of affirmation.
Okay.
But she's an excellent communicator. And since she communicates well, she may not look at the shit as affirmations. I'm receiving it.
But that's
as
good.
affirmation.
It's how you
But what if
Right.
she didn't communicate? Y'all would be in
I
trouble.
couldn't be with that
Y'all be in
person.
trouble.
That's what I'm trying to
I couldn't
say.
be with that person that's a bad
That's what I'm trying to
communicator.
say.
So regardless if she feels like she doesn't have to be affirming shit, she gonna do
But see,
do
I'm
her
the
regardless.
opposite. I could be with I'm not the I'm getting better. I'm not the greatest at communicating, but words of affirmation is my thing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I have to sometimes I give grace in some areas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I understand because I'm not the greatest communicator. You
I
see what I'm
agree with
saying?
that because I haven't always been a great communicator at all. I have previously been, for transparency purpose, a great manipulator.
Right.
Whereas I'm going to manipulate you in a way that I can receive this from you. I won't just be like, this is what I need. I'm going to show you the need or give you an example of why this need is there.
Right.
Well, you should be trying to do this naturally. And I found myself often saying in past relationships, like, you didn't already know that? You didn't know not to say that to me? You didn't know to say that to me? Like, it was that shit. So I learned to give people the benefit of the doubt, grace, and patience and teach them how to love me. And that's something I never did before until meeting someone that was willing to communicate with me.
Mhm.
So it's like, if a person's a bad communicator, nigga, I'm not gonna communicate with you. I'm not gonna waste my time. But I will still expect you to give affirmations. That's the crazy shit
And
that will
also,
happen.
just to piggyback off that, it's definitely a difference between teaching somebody how to love you or be with you and manipulating them.
Absolutely.
Like I teach everybody how to talk to me, how to be around me, how to be with me. I'm going to show you. As soon as something happens, hey, not with me. You know, I'm gonna correct it immediately because I don't think people would just know, right? You don't know you gotta walk on eggshells, but in here, bitch, get on your tippy toes. Get on your tippy toes. I like it silent, you know. And if that's the case, that's what the fuck I'm gonna say, you know. And I expect you to either understand what I'm saying to you or get the fuck out.
I can see that. I definitely agree with that.
I'm aggressive, but not that aggressive.
I don't think it's aggressive.
It's
How
aggressive.
she explained it is very aggressive,
It's
but what
aggressive.
she gives is not necessarily
No.
that
Oh
aggressive.
no, I've seen her in action.
Until
I
I've
can
seen
be
her in
wait,
action.
but I can be really nice. I
I'm
said no,
saying
baby.
until
You can't waste my time.
until you do something, and this is what you probably see in action. Until you do something that she can't do to you, that she wouldn't do to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have seen examples of. I'm not gonna fuck over your time. I'm not gonna
Right.
waste your time. How the fuck you wasting mine? How you gonna do that? Like those situations, like a zero tolerance. And I think everybody has zero tolerances that
Absolutely.
hit the switch, but some people don't. I was a person that didn't have zero tolerances.
Oh,
I learned boundaries through her because she had so many. And I'm sitting here like, damn,
got
there's a
none.
boundary.
Shit.
There's a boundary.
I'm
And-
an open river. It's just
But
flowing.
with her having boundaries, she explained to me how this became a boundary, why it's a boundary, and if it wasn't here, how I would treat your ass about that boundary. I'm like, need to have your boundaries. And while you at it, you're right. I should create
Let me create
some
some boundaries,
too.
yeah.
And see, I'm just aggressive, even without boundaries. I'm just aggressive. It's just like
But it's because you've had to be,
Yeah.
right? And so,
You're aggressive, but you have people in your life that also make you soft.
you know what I mean? If you can communicate with them your needs and what it is, you're not aggressive. Because I remember when we first started this and we was I don't know what we was debating. But we was getting heated in this motherfucker. And then I was like, you don't fucking scare me. You remember that, DJ? And I was like, I don't give a fuck. You ain't finna scare me. But once you realize you can talk to me without having to be aggressive with me.
oh, I remember that.
You done
You got-
switched up a lot.
you got
yeah.
real
It's
calm.
What
different.
was that episode?
I
I'm
don't
gonna have to
know.
go back and watch.
It was probably a fucking love languages.
Yeah, it was kind of. It was just more so of just me trying to impose my will.
I'm like, I get
That
you
was
aggressive.
manipulating the
That was-
I
conversation.
get you aggressive,
No,
but you
you
ain't
Yeah.
getting
being the
what
only
you
child used to have
Oh.
it his way.
And
Oh,
we wasn't on
okay.
camera. We was actually off camera.
Yeah, we was off
working
camera.
out. This is before the podcast.
That is what strike the podcast. Is y'all working out sessions where y'all just had
It
this
started,
crazy
and
conversation?
then arguing with each other.
Like, I'm gonna impose my will type of guy. Like I feel like
You done got better though, like
I
since
was
being
like,
around Blaq, because at
You
first he would
fucking
not
big
listen to nothing.
and aggressive, and you want to walk up on you. What?
Because Blaq showed him it could be a better.
And then when he get passionate, he get louder, and you just trying to get your point across, but he
Like, boy,
yeah.
I don't give a
Nah,
fuck
if
about
I was arguing, tussling with Dion, I'd be like, fuck, I'm about to write this nigga a letter. I just want to let you know you did have me fucked up. I can't keep yelling at you. So
No,
this
that's
is
when
what
you
I
go
was
back
trying
in the
to
old
say.
archive. You had me
No.
about bent in a motherfucker.
I can't.
But
do
I
it.
get that though, because if I can't voice my concerns, if I can't get my point across, I get big. Although I'm real little, I feel real big. My voice get aggressive. I start talking at you. Now I don't
You
want
feel
you to
like
hear
you're
me.
not heard.
Now it's what the fuck I say. I don't care what your understanding is. It is what it is.
I get that.
I'm finna chop this tree down.
Yeah.
Is it?
I
So
hate my
I
frustration is a response of crying. I hate that. When
That
I get
be pissing me
frustrated,
off.
oh
Oh my
God. It's
God.
like,
They be
I
like,
ain't
why you
said I
crying
ain't
now?
mad. I want to
Mad.
slap the shit out you right now, but I gotta keep
the
talking.
manner I
I
get, the
keep
more
talking.
articulate I get.
No.
And when I start talking to you like I'm a professor, go on to call the police.
When you start sounding like
Professor, call the police.
I
You started using words like T.I.
Started using words you ain't never heard me use
Yeah.
before.
Like,
Call
I
the
am-
police.
I gotta be Incredible Hulk. I tend to break stuff when I'm
I can see
angry.
that.
Punch holes in walls, break tables,
I
punch
start
holes in
talking real
windows.
polite. Okay,
Yeah.
sweetheart. This is
As
call
long
the
as
police.
I'm still talking, people say it's the point when I stop talking. It's a switch, and it's not me just being quiet. It's literally a difference. It's like you can still be talking to me, and I'm gonna tell you should stop talking to me.
I haven't
And see,
been
what's so
angry in
crazy
years.
is it
gotta
depends though.
get that.
Certain people can't get me to that
This
point.
nigga.
No.
There's levels to it. Like usually I'm like Story. If I'm real mad, I'm start crying. For me, I stumble on my words. You get clear, I don't.
Mhm.
But the only time that I feel rage like that, it's only one person has ever got me that to the point like I punched a car window. Like I was pissed, and I've never in my life done that. But it's just like it was a different level of rage.
I shoot that bitch. I
Right,
will not put. I will
right.
not
I'm
hurt
always,
you.
I'm
I
always
hit
in
that
rage.
hoe and it cracked. I said, "Ooh."
Ray, I ain't seen Rage in years, so I'm actually doing pretty good.
I haven't been
I feel like
enraged.
I'm multiple people. I got. It's just so many of me. If I Blaq start cracking and I feel Nikki coming out, we about to fight. But when the police get here, I'm gonna be Emily. So the point, pick your struggle. Pick your
Well,
struggle. If
people-
you can get Nikki to come out,
Final thoughts.
it's a wrap. My final thought: there's no need to manipulate anyone. You have the exact same life to live. You have the exact same happiness to achieve and peace to gain. There's no reason to manipulate someone else's for yours. Just find yours, and if you can find someone to share it with, that's all the better. But if not, it's a billion people out here. Live your life. Outside is always outside.
I like
Outside
that.
is always outside.
Yeah, hey, it is always outside. My thought is I'm going to lean towards the love language. I still feel like
You're gonna bring that back.
manipulation gets a little strange when your love languages don't add up.
Mhm.
It gets a little bit more aggressive when your love languages don't add up. I'm a words of affirmation guy. If they're gifts, we're not gonna click.
Mhm.
So I want words of affirmation. You started buying me gifts. I'm gonna take them gifts though, but you're still not giving me what I need.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story is that manipulation is not a thing. Don't make it a thing. Understand if you can't get your way from that individual, it is what it is. Either adjust or move on. Life is life, man. Live your life. Understand that every relationship you get in is not going to be the last one.
Yep.
And you might have to move on and try something different.
Mhm.
And the adult way of doing that is just telling the person how you really feel. And don't let them manipulate you when you're trying to get out of something into thinking that they can fix it. Because just because I tell you that it's over, now all of a sudden you can do it, then that's a whole issue. We didn't even go there, but people do that all the time. So make sure that you're not in that situation. and understand that walking away is sometimes the best option.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Next week, we out. Peace.